you don't think Community gave you that kind of lunchbox recognition in a way?
It gave me the recognition, but when I speak of like the lunchbox, like everybody knows Friends.
Okay.
Everybody
Yes.
knows The Big Bang Theory. I feel like Community had a great run, and I feel
Mhm.
like I'm definitely recognizable because of that. But this for me is not even the recognizability. It's there's something about us, your show airing every night at
Yeah.
7 o'clock across the country that just feels like you're a part of the entertainment industry. You're a part of Americana. Like you,
Yes.
you know, like I grew up watching, like, I would watch the Cosby Show. Well, I watched it live because I'm old enough to have watched it live.
Me
But
too. I'm
also when it was
53. We're the same.
right,
Yeah.
right. So when it was a syndication, I watched it. Golden Girls,
Yeah.
Cheers, like something about 11:30 at night or 7 o'clock at night. Every night you go to bed watching your friends on this show. I want to be on a show like that. That's
Right.
that's that's a big dream since I was a kid. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to happen,
Yeah.
but I would love that.
I mean, I bet it will. I think the problem is maybe that there's not as many of those shows anymore. Like when we were
Yeah.
kids, there was 4 channels and
Hmm.
then like those shows. And
Right.
then cable came. I mean, I
Well, it
know I
was
said
mm.
by the way, I know I said we're the same age. I'm much older than you. I
You
just
are
want to be
2 years.
clear.
You're 2 years
I
older
am
than me. That is
much
not
older
much
than you.
older. That is not much older. Two
You
years
are a
older.
young woman
I
and
am 51. I
compared
am not. Trust me. I don't even want
compared
to be considered a young person. So when I'm walking and my knees buckle, I want everybody to understand. Oh, that's an old lady over here. Nobody judge
yeah,
me because I got
yeah.
bad knees.
Yeah, no, I know. So, but I think, yeah, I mean, my guess is look, maybe Quinta will do it and you'll get on that show and that'll become the thing and you'll take over and here we are.
No, I wanted to
But
have that. Like
no,
I
I know she's
literally, yeah,
great.
but it would be great though. Like I would want to create it. Like I
Yeah,
would, because the other thing is, I want I want that residual income, like the money.
I get
I want the
that. Of
mailbox
course,
money.
of
And so
course.
when you create the show, or you're the executive producer of the show, or you're the, you get to like plant your
Y-
flag,
Hell
then
yeah.
that's when you can tip your hat to the industry and say night night, and
Yeah.
snuggle
So
with your
get
dog.
cracking.
I know.
Let's
Maybe
write
it's
the
Act Your
thing.
Age. Act Your Age might be the one that gets me. I didn't create it. Alison Faust, the great Alison Faust did, but that might be the one that I can go to syndication on. That
Yeah.
would
Oh, I hope so. I hope
Mhm.
so. March 4th on Bounce, which you just
Yeah,
have to Google and you'll find it.
you
Like
will
that's
find it. It's
just
already on your
Google.
TV. Bounce is already on your TV. You just got to find the station. It's there
Like,
though.
really? So whatever cable you have or whatever
Or regular TV.
streaming,
It's on regular TV. It's an air across the air station. If
that's
I
a
tell people
thing?
this all the time, yeah, I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, if they have the Ion channel, everybody's seen Ion. Ion has like
Uh-huh.
Blue Bloods and CSI and those type of shows. This is the black goodness melanin version of Ion.
I'm
And so if you have
crying.
Ion, you have
Yeah.
Bounce. It's the
Oh, that's
same
amazing.
Scripps
Yeah.
Networks. It's the same group of people.
Okay, scripts. Right.
Company.
You'll
Yeah.
find it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I can't, that's gonna be good to watch.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody watch and I hope that becomes the thing. I hope that
Yes,
becomes the thing.
I hope
I
it does.
didn't know that you started. I watched you on Jennifer Hudson show. I
Mhm.
didn't know that you started in music.
Mhm.
I think the story of Dreamgirls is hysterical. Um I mean, you guys were basically brought in to be placeholders. I mean, I know it was
Yes,
auditions, but
absolutely.
ultimately, like you were freaking placeholders, or if I was gonna go blue, I'd say fluffers. Like, I don't like it's the funniest thing.
Yeah,
And
listen, it was a monumental undertaking to do the movie, and they needed, wardrobe was still doing what they needed to do, and everyone was still moving, but they did not have Effie yet. Effie was the main character that it took the
yeah,
longest to find. And so how do you keep the everybody knowing what's going to happen if you don't bring someone in to audition with people and all of that? And also it was very kind of him to give us roles after that, because he could have
yes.
been like, thanks, but we had done so many little favors for the production by the time everyone was cast. They were like, we got to give him something because they have
Yes. So how did that like how did you because at the time, I mean, I was a huge Jennifer Hudson stan
Mhm.
from American Idol. I mean,
Yeah,
I was furious when she
yeah,
got voted off. I didn't understand why. I didn't
yeah,
like how Simon talked to her. That voice
yeah,
is just
yeah.
absurd. But
Mhm.
like for you auditioning for that role and they keep bringing you back and bringing you back and bringing you back, like how do you deal with that in that moment when then she swoops in and takes your gig? Like,
She didn't take my gig.
I
You know what it is?
know. Yeah,
I am a person of faith, and I believe that what is yours, and what is meant to be will be.
yeah,
And I kept going back, one, because I thought, you don't, in an audition, when you audition, you don't always get the job, but the goal is to make a fan,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so my, or fans. And my thought was, every time I go in and do something as Effie for this production, somebody may see me and remember me for the next thing if it's not me. And then there was also that feeling of, they still haven't cast her. Maybe they'll say it is mine,
right.
So there was that bit of hope that, but then when I started hearing, that Fantasia was auditioning, and then I heard Jennifer Hudson was auditioning, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, the ship has sailed now, because, they were of the moment. They were, they had more buzz. This was like 2005 or 2006. Nobody knew who I was. It just wasn't meant to be, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
So you just accept it, and you get excited about the things that are yours, So
When you were in music business, which
mhm.
I had no idea that you started
Yeah, it
with
started
Belle
singing.
Biv DeVoe, like,
Yeah.
that was what? So, like, were you in the studio cutting tracks and, like,
We
that
did
kind of yeah,
we did one. When I met him, I was in college. I was in I think I was 19 when I met him. So I was like in my second year of college, and we did a lot of performance type things. Like we did the Showtime at the Apollo with Boys to Men. They introduced East Coast Family. There was a thing they did on TRL with the East Coast Family. We did a video. We went in the studio and did one song and did a video as the East Coast Family. And then my sophomore year of college, Michael flew me and the group that I was in, that he had put together, out to LA for the summer. And we were supposed to record an album and like prepare to be released. But all we did was like hang out around the pool and go to parties. You've already, I'm not really a party person. And we would hang out at Motown and stuff like that, but we never actually recorded the album. And September was coming up, and my, school, I was like, I'm halfway done with college. Like I need to finish my degree. I think I actually was a junior by then. By the time all this happened, I'd been with him for a year as an artist. And I was thinking to myself, my mother wanted one thing, not she wanted a lot of things for me, but one of her biggest dreams was for me to graduate from college. And I wanted that for myself. And I had like 32 credits left. And I'm like, I got to go home and get my degree. And I can
yeah,
always come back after, but I don't want to just hang out and have wasted, all the time I put into school, because I was really good in school. I had scholarships, and
yeah.
I wanted to finish it.
Smart, yeah,
So I went home, and with the understanding that when I graduated, I would move back to LA, and pursue music. And even on my cap, when I was graduating, I had Motown. I had I put a CD on the top of it, and I put in tape Motown Bound, because I was positive when I'm done, I'm going back to Motown and I'm going to do my record deal. And I went out. I came back to LA, and the music business had completely changed. Like it went from
completely changed
sweet
it.
little, yeah, sweet R&B songs to, and BBD had something to do with this. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. It became everything was sex. And
Yeah.
as you look at me now, buttoned up to the top button,
Yeah, yeah, no, I get it. It was
yes,
a
I know I am. So
it
I
was
had to, tip a hat and walk away from that.
yeah, the 90s, that was the early
Mhm.
90s. It all
Yeah.
because when I was a kid, like, I was obsessed with Run DMC. I mean,
Mhm.
my dad was in the music business. That was
Oh,
what
I didn't know that.
he ran record labels and
Mhm.
produced things, and I mean, to the point where, like, Run DMC was at my Sweet 16. It's, like, my biggest claim to fame is that Run
Holy
DMC played my
crap,
Sweet
you
16. I
see.
know, it was a big deal, and it's a big deal, and, but that was in 1986, and by,
Mhm.
like, 1994, 1990, I loved
Everybody was naked.
yeah, but, like, I loved the original hip hop. Original hip hop
Yes,
was
I did too.
great. I didn't have to mute myself singing
Jenny,
it.
we sound so old, but original hip hop was it. Like I think the last time I was
So
like
good.
buying albums and
Yeah.
stuff was like Tupac and Biggie. That was the last phase of hip hop and even some of Biggie's songs were a little risque for me. But
Yep.
I was like, that was the last where they were still telling stories and you could still understand what they were saying. And it
Yep.
wasn't all about shooting each other and, doing drinking lean and whatever else they do. And I know I sound
Correct.
old, but it just wasn't my thing. And it was tough to let music go because it's my greatest love. To this day, it's my greatest love. But I've said 1,000 times, you have to reach for the things that are reaching for you, and music just didn't want me
Didn't
like
they?